Some buyers think they're looking for a home in Carson City until one property just outside town changes the whole conversation. At first, the search feels pretty contained. You pull up Carson City homes, compare prices, and look at neighborhoods, and you start imagining what life would feel like there.
Then a home 15 or 20 minutes away shows up with more room, better views, quieter setting, or the kind of property you have not been finding inside Carson City. And that is when the decision gets more interesting.
The question is not just, do I like this house? You have to ask whether Carson City is where your life actually needs to be, or if it's simply the starting point that helped you discover the right part of Northern Nevada. That distinction matters.
A house inside Carson City may make your daily routine easier. A property outside of the city may give you space, privacy, scenery that feels more like the lifestyle you had in mind. Neither one is automatically the smarter move.
The mistake happens, though, when buyers choose one benefit without fully understanding what they're giving up to get it. So today, we want to walk through how to think about Carson City versus the areas that are just outside of it, including Minden, Gardnerville, Genoa, Dayton, Washoe Valley, and the nearby pockets that often enter the conversation once buyers start comparing.
If Carson City is on your list, but part of you keeps wondering whether a better fit might be a little further out, this is going to help you slow down before the pretty listing pulls you in too quickly. Comment with the area you are comparing against Carson City right now.
Usually, the place that keeps catching your attention tells us what your current search has not solved yet. I'm Marette Miller.
And I'm Jill Larson with the Larson Miller Group, and we help buyers, sellers, move-up homeowners, investors make confident real estate decisions throughout Carson City and Northern Nevada.
Before we talk about specific areas, we want to start with your normal week, not your vacation version of life, not the dream version where every day is slow, scenic, and perfectly organized, the real one.
Where do you actually go on a Tuesday? That one question can tell you more than a dozen listing photos. If most of your life already points back towards Carson City, buying inside the city may make a lot of sense. Work might be there, your appointments might be there, the grocery store you like, your favorite gym might be there, or your coffee shop, your clients, your school routine, your doctor, your friends, or your family could all be pulling you into a town more often than you realize.
During the search, convenience doesn't feel exciting, but after closing, it becomes one of the biggest reasons that a home either feels easy or starts to wear on you. A larger lot sounds amazing when you're touring on a weekend, but the drive you resent has a way of becoming part of the house.
That is why I would never tell a buyer to leave Carson City just because something outside of town looks prettier online. The setting may be beautiful, your life still has to function there. For the right buyer, staying inside Carson City is not a settling, it's choosing the right access for you.
It means daily errands stay manageable. Services are closer, routines are often simpler, and you're not constantly building extra drive time into every ordinary task. And that can matter a lot for move-up buyers or first-time home buyers or busy professionals and investors. Really anyone who wants the home to make life feel smoother instead of more complicated.
Now, there are buyers who would absolutely look outside of Carson City. They usually feel it early in the search. The home in town may be fine, but something about them does not quite solve the bigger lifestyle picture. Maybe the yard feels too tight, parking is not working for them, the garage space might feel a little bit limited, and really the views might be missing.
Privacy matters more than they expected, and a little more distance from neighbors might be what they really wanted from Northern Nevada in the first place. When that happens, nearby areas can start to make more sense.
Minden and Gardnerville often come into the conversation when buyers want the Carson Valley feel. You may be drawn to the openness, the beautiful views, the slower rhythm of life, and the sense that life has a little more room around it.
And that can be such a beautiful fit. It can also be easy to romanticize. More space usually brings more responsibility. Larger properties mean more landscaping, upkeep, irrigation questions, more fencing, weather exposure, and just more time spent caring for the outside of your home.
They want land, the setting, and the lifestyle that comes with it. Another buyer may love the photos but quietly hate the maintenance once real life begins. That is the difference you need to understand before you buy. Space should support your life, not become a second job you did not mean to take on.
Now, Genoa brings a different kind of emotion into the search. People don't usually look at Genoa and feel neutral. The charm, the history, scenery, and the quieter pace can really grab a buyer quickly. You might drive through and immediately understand why someone would want to live there.
The practical question comes after the first reaction. Do you want a rhythm of Genoa, or do you just love feeling of visiting it? Those are not the same thing. A buyer who wants quiet character, views, and a slower lifestyle might feel completely at home there. Someone who needs quick errands, more service, and more activity day-to-day environment may start to really feel that difference.
Yeah, that doesn't mean Genoa is inconvenient for everyone though. It means the area needs to match the way you actually spend your time. A beautiful place can be the wrong daily fit for you. Now, Dayton tends to enter the search for another reason.
A lot of buyers start looking east when they want more value, more house, or a more practical path into the region. That can be a smart move. It can also become a problem if the decision is based only on price. The purchase price is only part of the story.
Your daily drive, where you work, where you shop, where your appointments are, and how often you expect to come back toward Carson City all need to be part of the decision. Dayton might fit beautifully for a buyer who understands the trade-off and feels comfortable with that routine. Another person might save money on the house and then feel frustrated every week because their life still points somewhere else, and that's where buyers need to be careful.
A better deal on paper does not always create a better life. The right Dayton buyer usually knows what they're choosing. They're not pretending it's Carson City. They're choosing the property, the value, or a lifestyle that makes sense for them. Washoe Valley has its pull because of the position between Carson City and Reno. For buyers who move between both those locations, it can be really interesting.
You might like the open feeling, the views, the quieter setting, and the fact that you're not fully planted in either city. That middle ground quality can be the whole reason that it works. It can also be the reason why someone hesitates.
Living between places sounds convenient until you realize most of your life actually happens in one direction. If you're always heading north, the Reno side of the equation matters more. When Carson City is your anchor, being outside of town may or may not feel worth it. A buyer who truly uses both the directions may see Washoe Valley as a strong fit.
Someone who only likes the idea of being between markets should test that idea against their actual routine. The setting is not the only thing you're buying. You're buying the pattern that comes with it too. Now, let's talk about privacy, because this is where buyers sometimes get emotionally pulled outside of Carson City. A quieter property can feel like a relief.
You step outside of the car and you hear less traffic, see more sky, and immediately imagine a calmer life. That feeling can be real. It can also hide a practical question. How far are the services from the use that you really need? Will winter weather change how your drive feels? Does a property need more exterior maintenance than you want? And are you comfortable with the road, the lighting, the utilities, the fencing, and the actual landscape and the way the home sits on the lot?
Those details may not be as exciting as the view, but they really matter after you move in. Privacy is valuable when it gives you peace, but it can become frustrating when it means that everyday life is a little harder than you expected. The same idea applies to views. A view can change the way a whole property feels.
In northern Nevada, that really does matter. Mountains, valley light, open skies, and distance between home can make a place feel really special when you step inside. But still, I really need you to be careful because buying the view is ignoring the rest of the home. A gorgeous setting will not fix a floor plan that does not work.
It won't shorten a drive you dislike, and it won't make a high maintenance property easier to manage. The view is definitely part of the value, but it shouldn't be the only value. A strong purchase gives you beauty and function in that same decision.
That balance is what buyers should really be looking for. Around the midpoint of this search, I like to ask buyers a very simple question. What are you hoping to gain by leaving Carson City? That answer really does matter. Is it more land? Is it a different from privacy? A better view is different from a lower payment.
A quieter setting is different from needing room for vehicles, animals, equipment, or hobbies. When the goal is specific, the search becomes much easier to guide. A buyer who says, I just want more space, may need help defining what that actually matters. Do you need a usable yard, garage depth, RV access, distance from your neighbors, a larger lot with less slope, room for animals, outdoor entertaining? Those are totally different searches, and the right area depends on the real need that's hiding behind that word space.
This is also where your budget can get tricky. Sometimes buyers assume going outside of Carson City automatically means more value. That may happen, but it's not necessarily a rule. A lower purchase price can offset by commute costs, maintenance, utilities, insurance considerations, or the amount of work required after closing. A more expensive home inside Carson City might actually feel easier to own if it saves you time, reduces driving, or keeps daily life simple for you.
On the other hand, a property outside the city might be worth every bit of that trade-off if it gives you the land, views, privacy, and lifestyle that you can't quite find in town. The best choice is not always the cheapest one, but it is where the total picture makes the most sense. That includes the payment, the condition, the location, time commitment, and how that home fits your life after the excitement fades.
Now, access is another major piece. Carson City can be a strong home base because it keeps you connected to services, government offices, medical care, shopping, restaurants, schools, and major routes throughout the region. For some buyers, that central convenience is exactly what they need. Nearby areas can still offer strong access, but the change is different.
Living in Gardnerville or Minden might feel natural if your life is already connected to Carson Valley. A buyer choosing Dayton might feel really comfortable heading into Carson City when needed. Washoe Valley can make sense when both Reno and Carson City matter to your daily life. Genoa might work best for someone who values the setting enough to accept a quieter daily rhythm.
The mistake is expecting each place to act like Carson City with a different view. They each have their own pace, they each ask something different from the buyer, and you want to know what that is before you choose. For sellers, the conversation also matters.
A home inside Carson City shouldn't be marketed the same way as a property outside of it. The buyer motivations are really different. In a town, convenience might be one of the strongest selling points, while just outside the city, lifestyle is going to carry more of that story. A larger lot, a quieter setting, valley views, privacy, garage space, or access between different markets might be what really makes the property stand out.
The right buyer needs to understand why that location works. That is especially important at a higher price point. Luxury and move-up buyers are not only buying bedrooms and square footage, they're buying the setting, the ease, the privacy, the timing, and how the property supports the life that they really want next.
That's why the story around the home really matters. A strong listing should help the buyer understand the lifestyle and not just show the rooms. If you're buying, this is also how we'd help you narrow the search. Start with Carson City if your life depends on convenience, local services, shorter routines, and being closer to the center of daily activity.
Look outside the city when your real priority is space, privacy, views, property flexibility, or a quieter rhythm that Carson City homes aren't giving you. Be careful when the only reason you're expanding that search is frustration. Sometimes buyers cannot find the right home in town, so they widen the map without thinking about what that actually means. Can that work?
Yes, but it can also pull you into a location that solves one problem while creating another. The better approach is to widen the search within intention. Know what you're trying to gain, understand what you're willing to give up.
Test the drive before you commit. Look at the property on a normal day, not only when the showing feels super exciting. Pay attention to how the area feels when you're not in the buyer mode. Could you live your regular life here comfortably?
That answer is more important than the listing description. Now, if you're still unsure, here's the simplest way to think about it. Carson City is likely the better fit if you want convenience, access, services, and a home base that keeps daily life manageable.
The areas around it may be a better match if the whole reason you're moving is to get more space, more land, more quiet, more scenery, more views, or a property that gives you room to just live differently.
Both choices can be right. The key is not forcing the wrong lifestyle into the right house.
A beautiful home in the wrong location will eventually start to feel less beautiful. A practical home in the right place can become more valuable to your daily life than you actually expected. Real estate decisions are emotional, but they cannot stay emotional the whole time.
At some point, the house has to work for you. The location has to work, the routine. When all three line up, the choice becomes much clearer. If you're trying to decide whether to buy in Carson City or just outside of it, reach out and we can talk through the areas, the trade-offs, the homes, the things that are currently available, and what actually fits the way that you want to live.
Subscribe for Carson City and Northern Nevada's real estate breakdowns, because the right move starts with understanding the lifestyle before you choose the house.